Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ox Talks. It is Friday, December the 8th, 2023. Hope all of you are having a good day today and wrapping up what hopefully has been a good week for you personally and with your business matters. I appreciate you watching these videos and subscribing to my channel. Please make sure you hit the like notification or the like button, and also click the bell notification so you're notified when I put new content up. And make sure that you're staying subscribed. I've heard some reports of people being unsubscribed from the channel. Most importantly, as we talk about every single day, please share these videos with your family, friends, colleagues, and coworkers. Please put this stuff up on social media. And let's continue to get people waking up here as to this financial and economic collapse that's unfolding. I'm not even going to spend a lot of time discussing the jobs report today that came out. I guess we're to believe that the unemployment rate has dropped and that report was excellent in all regards. And, I think if you just look at the number of layoffs that we all see being announced each and every day, the number of companies that are failing, large companies, large corporations, the number of bankruptcy filings that are hitting the bankruptcy rolls and the courts, it is hard to believe the narrative that the mainstream is shoveling our way. But nonetheless, it was good enough to knock the gold and silver spot price down substantially, although gold did come back and close over $2,000 an ounce today. I think silver closed just over 23. So again, in the face of this cooked data, we're still seeing strength from my perspective in those other asset classes. There was an article I saw today that I thought was very worthy from Newsweek, and it says new homeowners lose $122,000 as housing prices drop. I think I did a few videos ago, I addressed the idea of FOMO, the fear of missing out, and how you're seeing all these new first-time home buyers and new home buyers feeling like they have to rush out and buy a house and catch this falling knife, that they believe that the opportunity is going to be lost to get into a new home. And what I had said, without giving financial advice or legal advice, is look, it might be prudent to simply keep your powder dry, sit back, and see where this market goes. And this now article I'm going to share with you kind of reinforces the fact that people that rushed in the last months or so have already taken a big hit in the value of their properties. Obviously, it's dependent on where you are in the country, but it is a precipitous downturn. And some people, if they didn't put down a substantial down payment, are finding themselves already in a negative equity situation where they potentially owe more than their home is worth. And you do not want to be in that situation. So here, let me read this to you. It says, new homeowners across the United States are confronting a rapid depreciation in their home values, with recent data showing an average loss of $122,000 in home value. In some areas, the American dream is showing signs of wear. The past year has seen the American housing market shift, and property values are now in free fall, according to a November study issued by Point2 Homes. Owners who battled historic mortgage rates to purchase their homes are now facing a market in retreat, as single-family homes shed up to $223 daily in value. In 2022, a wave of over 5 million homes were sold in the U.S., with a quarter of the purchases made by first-time buyers, according to a report from the National Association of Realtors. And it says some of those new entrants to home ownership now find themselves underwater as the market value of their home recedes. And it talks about the markets that are most affected. I'll address that in a second. But look, what do you do in that scenario? Well, hopefully you have enough staying power, you have a strong job, or you own your own business, where you are generating your own income stream so you can continue to service the debt on that loan, because you probably took out a mortgage at 7 or 8% to get into that home. You may have leveraged in with a smaller down payment with the assistance maybe of the home developer or the home seller. And so now you're stuck. And if that's a situation, you have to stay the course. You have to service the debt on the home, pay the taxes, pay the mortgage, pay the insurance. And I suppose hope is a dangerous strategy, but hope that the prices do not continue to plummet further. You can find yourself in a situation where the value it drops so fast and so much that it is questionable whether or not you would even continue servicing that debt. I won't go into that analysis in this discussion, but look, you have to be careful listening to the cheerleaders, and they're saying it now. They're the same cheerleaders out there saying it's now the time to buy a home, rates are coming down, you'll be able to refinance. Take a step back from my perspective, save your money, reduce your debt, strengthen your overall financial position, strengthen your credit score, work on your credit score, and wait for the opportunities, because they are coming, folks, and they're going to be coming in droves, in my opinion, in the coming year and couple years. It says 15 large markets in the U.S. were most affected on a year-over-year basis, according to Point 2. For both single-family homes and condos. Single-family homes in Memphis, Tennessee saw drawdowns of 17.1%, while homes in Chandler saw a more modest loss of 0.6%. The ripple effect of the losses is potent enough to threaten homeowners with negative equity and a precarious financial position that turns the asset of home ownership into a liability. Not only a liability, but a nightmare. It's not something that you're going to enjoy. It's going to detract from what should be an enjoyable experience owning a home for the first time. So keep that in mind. Other markets were also affected, but $122,000 is a substantial loss on these homes, and that's an average. You have some that have lost more than that depending on where you're at. I saw a couple other articles. One was a article I saw on Business Insider from Jim Rogers. Once in a while he comes out and he's always predicting, things collapsing. I understand that his timing hasn't been excellent, but the guy's worth about $300 or $400 million. He has lived through a lot of severe downturns, and he says stocks, bonds, and real estate are all bubbles destined to burst, and America is barreling toward economic catastrophe, Jim Rogers has warned. It says the U.S. Quote, he says, the U.S. economy has had the longest period of expansion without a recession in recorded history, and it's coming to an end. You see inflation going higher, interest rates going higher. Some stocks go up every day, he says, some bubble stocks. You see all the classic signs that this is nearing the end. He says, I have a huge amount of cash, but I'm not selling short yet because bubbles, especially the end of a bubble, can go on for longer than any rational person expects, and that seems to be what is happening now. He says, I would expect the next bear market would be the worst in my lifetime. Since 2009, the debt everywhere has skyrocketed, so the next time we have a problem, it's going to be huge, he says, probably the worst in my lifetime. And then he concludes by saying, when things go wrong, all of us peasants, he addresses, he's been a gold and silver proponent. We've discussed it on this channel. It's an alternative for you to consider to protect your wealth, to be your own bank as a separate account, a savings account, if you will. And he says, when things go wrong, all of us peasants want to have some gold in the closet. We want some silver under the bed. I'm an old peasant. I know how us peasants think. So I thought that was kind of a cute conclusion there. But obviously, everyone has their own strategies. You might want to consider that as part of yours. And then lastly, on the Daily Hodl, I saw something today from Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki, and he just addressed and stated how much the national debt has risen in the last month and in the last year. It's important for you guys to understand this because we talk about the national debt. We also talk about personal debt and why it is barreling towards a road to disaster and an unhappy ending if you cannot get your debt levels under control, if you cannot stop spending money you don't have, and if you cannot find a way to pay down the debt you've already accumulated. And it says fresh data from the U.S. Treasury shows that the national debt rose from $33.637 trillion on November 1st, listen to this, to $33.878 trillion by the end of the month of November, which is also a $2.46 trillion increase year over year. So, the debt continues to pile on nationally. We know the interest to service the debt continues to grow. It's over $1 trillion a year now. So, again, if you look at the stock market, look at the mainstream media, everyone is out there saying that, hey, we're fine, there's going to be a soft landing, the Fed's going to pivot. But you look at all this other data, all these other news points, and you have to really question that narrative and what we are being fed and what they're trying to convince us of. I will lastly address, I think yesterday I talked about my upcoming motion on Monday and a case I have, and I was waiting for a tentative ruling to be posted today at 3 o'clock. That tentative ruling was posted by the judge. Thankfully, the tentative ruling was in my client's favor. It was to deny that motion, which I think I explained yesterday would have been a case dispositive motion, meaning the case would have been, for all purposes, done had I not prevailed on the motion. I reached out to the opposing lawyer, and he agreed to stipulate on the tentative ruling. So we contacted the court reporter, told the court reporter we don't need her Monday morning for the hearing, who's a stenographer, takes everything down that we say at the hearing. And the tentative ruling today in my favor will become the final ruling of the court on that matter at 8:30 Monday morning. So it's kind of a nice way to go into the weekend for me, knowing that there's a W on in that column. You don't always get the W's. I have cases where you think it's a slam dunk and you get your butt kicked, and there's cases that you think you have no business winning, and you win everything. You get the whole thing in your client's favor. So you always have to take these things very seriously. We properly opposed the motion, briefed everything out, and again, thankful that the result was in my client's favor. Was on the phone with the client earlier and advised the client of the outcome. So with that being said, I'm going to change out of this shirt, put on my workout gear, get over to my Friday afternoon upper body workout, 1 hour workout. Please do the same today. Get your steps in. Walk a bit, do some strength training, sit-ups, push-ups, whatever you can do in the surroundings you have and within, obviously, your physical means and your physical ability. Please get the hydration in. And with that being said, I'll leave it there. It's not quite 14 minutes, my usual. I hope all of you have a fantastic weekend. I thank you all for supporting the channel. It is growing, and I'm going to stick with it because I believe there's value to be brought to you guys every day with the approach. And once again, thank you, and I will talk to all of you most likely over the weekend. Okay, bye. Oh, I meant to mention, I'm taking my dad tomorrow morning to a Cars and Coffee. He's 86 years old. He's in great shape. He loves cars, and so we're going to put the top down tomorrow in the car and head over early Saturday morning to a Cars and Coffee. He loves American muscle cars, and this one's more of that group of cars and collectors and enthusiasts. So looking forward to sharing the morning with my dad tomorrow, and I will let you know how that goes. Thanks. Bye.